Welcome. My name is Given Illustrative, and this is, of course, Millennial Pillars. You and I are hanging out on the I Am Youth Movement YouTube channel, and we're having a conversation about how to reimagine yourself. This is a conversation that we started last week, where we were talking about when you failed a number of times, it becomes harder and harder to reimagine yourself. And what that means is it becomes harder for you to see yourself succeeding at something that you failed at over and over and over again. And we made the example with the Israelites where they had been in slavery for so long that when God rescued them and they had to go through the wilderness, they couldn't imagine themselves being their own boss because they had been in slavery for so long, and they basically had been content with the little that they had back there. So we basically concluded in saying that it is very important for you to learn the discipline of reimagining yourself as a victor in that particular thing that you failed at a number of times. So today we're continuing that conversation, right? And we're stepping into a conversation about this is something that a lot of people struggle with, actually, and it is the topic and subject of change. Actually putting the work behind the change that you want to see in yourself. And obviously this brings us to the discussion of habits, how to develop new habits, and therefore developing a new way of behaving so that you don't become a predictable you. You need to change the way you behave, therefore learning new habits. Now this is a very, very important one, right? I cannot stress how important this is, because if you want to see yourself a new you need to begin to behave differently. And this also comes back to the very subject that's tackled in the word where it says, be ye not conformed to the ways of the world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. The way that you renew your mind is by thinking differently and then reinforcing it by a way of acting and behaving differently. So the question I have for you today is this: what are you going to be doing differently this year so that you do not end up reproducing the same you that you had to deal with last year? So are you going to be waking up earlier? Are you going to be disciplining yourself to actually go to gym? And if you're gonna say to yourself that this year I'm gonna be going to gym more, what are you gonna be doing differently this year? Are you gonna be getting a gym partner? Are you gonna ask a friend or a spouse to check up on you whether you're actually going to gym? Or are you gonna be documenting and using a calendar to record yourself? So this is a very, very important one, because as they say, if you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, then that's the definition of insanity. So this is why it's absolutely important for us to learn to change our daily habits. And obviously this differs per individual, because the changes you want to make in your life differ from the changes that I want to make in my life. But what I want to talk about today and expand upon is us not developing the bad habit of underestimating the power of good habits, right? Because brushing your teeth is a good habit, and that's exactly why you maintain, fresh breath. You maintain healthy teeth because you've developed the good habit, and you don't even think about it much. So these are the few benefits that I've seen in developing good habits, right? For one, your body slips into autopilot. It's like driving. You no longer think about the fact that, I need to remember to change gears. If you've been driving long enough, you then get into this autopilot phase where you no longer think about it. You know that when you reverse, you have to switch the car into reverse. And you can do it while chatting to someone, while talking to someone in the passenger seat, right? While thinking about the groceries that you're going to be buying, because your body has slipped into autopilot. That is a huge advantage, because it takes less energy for you to do things that that have become a habit, that have become habitual to you. So that's something to look forward to. And here's another thing: when you've done something over and over again and it's become a habit, then you reach a point where you now no longer have to sort of like psych yourself up in order to do it. Your body begins to look forward to it, right? It becomes easier for you to do. And here's the fabulous part, right? The very same method or the very same thing that used to cause you to fail at whatever it is that you never used to be able to do in the past, whether you've been watching porn too much, eating too much junk food, or even swearing a lot, just using a lot of profanity. When you begin to learn a new habit, the very same thing, which is called the compound effect, or we'll just call it the compound effect, the very same thing that was working to your disadvantage will begin to work to your advantage, because now your body will begin to learn that this is what we do now, and therefore begin to look forward and anticipate the new habits that we've learned. Now think about that and begin to put it in your life and ask yourself, what are you going to be doing differently so that you don't repeat the mistakes of the past? And with that said, my name is Given Illustrative. This is Millennial Pillars, and this is I Am Youth Movement YouTube channel. You can like and subscribe, and you can also hit me up on the comment section so that I can know whether these conversations are adding value to your life. Peace.